One of the most important considerations for any consumer-facing business is where to locate. So I'm going to go through my top 5 to give you some pointers. So the first one, without question, is cost. Now, obviously, there's an element of cost in any physical property. But some, where you have higher footfall, more similar businesses, and therefore a greater density of potential customers, have a higher cost base than others who are in more remote locations, slightly off the beaten track, or away from the clustering effect and the footfall. Now, when weighing up the costs, on the one hand, the high-cost one may seem a bad decision. The low-cost one may look great on paper, but you have to remember how much marketing spend you need to invest to draw people to a more remote location and create that destination, the reason to go out of their way and off the beaten track to find you. So cost, you need to take into account the marketing effect. The second consideration is demographic. In another video, I talked about your ideal customer. And of course, it goes without saying that you need to identify a location where there are plenty of people similar to your ideal customer. Unless, of course, you want to invest in costly marketing to draw the ideal customer to you. The scenario is that you pick a location where at least you have a sporting chance of a high footfall from the local catchment area of people who would want to spend money with whatever it is you've got to offer. The third factor is competition. Now, a strange phenomenon occurs in retail and hospitality in that there is a clustering effect. So you might think initially that it's not wise to position your business where there are many offering something quite similar. But in fact, that in itself creates a destination where people will go because they know, for instance, they want to buy shoes. If I go to that street, that's the shoe street. There's 10 shoe shops on that street. I'm bound to find something. And that does enhance everybody's sales. On the other hand, of course, if you're the only one in a location, it means you stand out. You're the only place that people can go for shoes, let's say. So working out the competition and deciding whether you want to be part of a cluster or a standout from the crowd is very important in determining your location. A fourth point, linked to cost, is lease conditions, but it's much wider than that. It's about the legalities of what you're signing up to. There are some leases which offer you a temporary basis, an easy in and easy out, and others which can be quite onerous, and you should definitely get legal help to go through those. Because if you're signing up to a 5-year term, you could be tied into some hefty costs for a long time. What you ideally need is flexibility. Do you want to get out of your lease, either, unfortunately, if things aren't going well or you've not picked the best location, or ideally because you want to grow and move on to bigger and better? Or do you want to have the option to sublet, to share a shop, something that's becoming very, very popular? So having a flexible lease and a good landlord is an important factor when it comes to deciding and signing up for your ideal location. The fifth one I call curb appeal, for want of a better explanation, and it's how attractive is the premises. It doesn't matter if it's a bit shabby and you can negotiate with the landlord perhaps for a rent-free period, or for them to perhaps do some improvements for you. But ultimately, you want to choose a premises which has the potential to give you that standout visual from the minute somebody approaches along the street, great windows that lead through to great interiors, something that draws people in across the threshold to browse your products or to sit at your tables. Because curb appeal is something a lot of businesses underestimate. They get caught up in the fact that they found a great value property and they haven't realised that the look and feel of the place isn't going to be right for the customer. So back to the customer, in all things location, do everything thinking about your customer first.